Hello everyone! Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just to know if we can start the webinar. Can you write something on the chat? Just saying hello, if it's okay. Okay, perfect. So hello everyone, I'm Agathe from Join School in France, and I'm here to talk about the Masters in Management with Nathalie Quintin, who is the International Recruitment and Promotion Manager at ESCP Business School. So the first part of this webinar will be about Join School in France, just to know what is Join School in France, and then I will let Nathalie to talk about the Master in Management at ESCP Business School, and then the other parts will be with me regarding all the selection process through Join School in France. So what is Join School in France? Join School in France represents 5 business schools and only for the Master in Management program. So you just have to go on Join School in France website and to start an online application, and then we will check your online application and we will send your application for the 5 business schools. So it's really simple for international students. But now I let Nathalie to talk about the Masters in Management program.
Thank you, Agathe. So same question. I hope everyone can hear me and see me properly. Just let us know if you have a problem. But you should be hearing me. We did a few tests before, so hopefully you can. So I'm here today, Nathalie Quintin-Geselius, in charge of the promotion for the Master in Management. And I'm here today to present you the program and the different admission processes. So we're here to explain the different features of the program and how you can apply. So let me start. So you may have heard of ESCP. Hopefully, if you're here today, you might have done your research. So ESCP Business School is actually 200 years old from last year. We celebrated the bicentenary, and the school was established in 1819. So it has a long-standing tradition and experience of providing education, business education to students from all over the world. And as you may know, maybe the most distinctive feature of the school is that we have 6 European campuses. So we're one of the probably the only one with 6 European campuses. And what that says is that we can provide a seamless education for our students, because all campuses are owned by ESCP and they're not partner schools accommodating our students. Whether you're in Berlin, in Germany, or in London in the UK, in Madrid in Spain, in Paris in France, in Turin in Italy, Warsaw in Poland, you're at ESCP and you will meet with faculty, alumni, and students that belong to the ESCP community, wider community. As I just mentioned, a cross-cultural business education is what we want to provide you with, so as to prepare you for an international career. So that translates in all the different aspects of the school. Besides from having those 6 campuses, we have faculty members coming from a lot of different countries. We have a very international alumni community of 60,000 plus. And then we have 6,000 students currently enrolled in the school, coming from almost 120 different countries. So again, you get a very international experience through your classmates, through your professors, and through living in different locations. Also, it's mentioned on that slide that we have 150 research active full faculty members and 120 affiliate and visiting professors. So usually those have an active business career, and they come on a regular basis at ESCP to teach in our different programs. So they can really bring in their experience into the classroom, and you get exposure to real life business cases. So it's a very practical approach. So a history of excellence, we can prove you at least with a few indicators. One of them, which you may be aware of, is the accreditations. So we have accreditation from AACSB, which is an American entity, and then we have also the EQUIS accreditation, which is a European accrediting body for most of our programs and all of the school. So that shows that the program has a recognition in different continents, and whether you choose to stay in Europe or if you want to go to Asia, to the Americas, then most likely the program will be accredited and recognized. Then the second maybe indicator is the ranking. So you may have seen the latest Financial Times ranking, which was published last week. So I got kindly corrected the last up-to-date information regarding our rankings. So the Master in Finance is number 2 worldwide, and the Master in Management is number 6 worldwide. So again, it means that the companies are well aware of our students and our alumni. You need to know that the ranking, of course, is evaluating different criteria within each school and each program. But one of the most important criteria, the one that weighs the most, is usually the career prospects. So it means which kind of job you get and what type of salary you're getting once you graduate. It's a very important aspect of the ranking. And if you're highly placed in the ranking as a school, as an institution, it means that the return on investment for your students and your alumni is quite high. So it's also, I think, very important for you to know those rankings, because they give you an indication of what you can expect in terms of future prospects and work prospects. And also, it means that companies know the school and know our students. And then we were ranked number 4 in The Economist in the last ranking. So who is the MIM for? I do get the question quite often, what's the typical student, and which degree do I need to have, or which school do I need to graduate from with a bachelor so I can get a chance to get an admission? We accept students with degrees from all disciplines. We don't have a quota. We're really interested in, of course, what you've been doing up until you apply to the program, but we're also very interested in the future and your potential. So regardless of what you've been studying before, if the Master in Management is consistent with your career goals, it is possible that you get an admission. But of course, we're really looking at the academic background, so we need to have a good track record. We don't have a minimum GPA, minimum grades that we accept, but you need to be in the top of your class with solid academic foundations to be considered for admission. We do not require work experience, but it is really a plus if you have at least one internship, maybe a 6-month internship would make your application a bit stronger and more competitive. So try as much as possible to gain some work experience during your bachelor, even if it's not a mandatory requirement, and if your school is not asking you or requiring you to gain some work experience, try during the summer break, or even taking a gap year between the bachelor and when you apply for the Master in Management. And of course, you need to have an international motivation. That seems quite obvious, but any exposure that you may have had, or any experience, international experience that you may have had prior to joining the school, is more than welcome. So if you've done an exchange program, an internship abroad, if you studied abroad, meaning not in your home country, it's always a plus in your application, and it will make your application all the more interesting. So what is the MIM program? It's a 2-year course, but since you're expected to complete 36 weeks of work experience to get your degree, a lot of students take a gap year between M1 and M2. So the program will last 3 years for a lot of students, but you can complete everything within 2 years if you wish to. It's a general management course, but obviously, since you can pick 2 to 3 specializations among a portfolio of more than 50 specializations, it means that you can customize your program. And if you're more interested in certain fields, certain industries, if you're really targeting a specific type of job, you can handpick the courses within the electives and the specializations, and personalize your program so that it really fits your need and your expectations. Then we have, of course, the possibility also to gain more than 1 degree. So by default, everyone will be getting the Master in Management degree from the French Ministry of Higher Education. And then depending on the campuses where you get to study during the 2 years, you can add on more national degrees. So you could get a degree from the UK, from Germany, from Spain, depending on the combination that you choose. And then the current class is around 1,000 students, a very international group as well. So you gain a lot from the classroom exchanges, and aside from the academic part of the program, a lot of things, I would say, happen during the classroom time, of course, and then the group work. So you will be asked to work on many different projects with a small group of people, which vary from one assignment to the other. So you really get a lot of networking opportunities within the class, and you get some exposure to a lot of different students. So the diversity, as I mentioned, very international group, the majority being European, about 82%, and then 18% from the rest of the world. I think mostly this year it's been also a bit impacted, of course, by the COVID, since a number of students have not been able to travel. So there were a few students who had to defer their enrollments to next year. So it might have impacted a bit the class composition, but still a very diverse group, and students coming from a lot of countries. What you may be interested in, of course, it's where do you go next after you get your degree, and what are the career prospects. So the majority of students will choose to go into consulting and finance. I think it's almost half of the class. But of course, a lot of students are interested in either going into launching their own business, launching a startup. So entrepreneurship happens quite a bit, more and more into the IT industry, technology. So a lot of companies are recruiting our students in the sector. And what's interesting is from the last class, 99% found a job within 3 months after graduation. And out of those, 67% were employed before graduation. So the vast majority of students do get offers, and I say offers with an S because usually you get multiple offers that you can choose from. So the career prospects are very good, and the average salary as a starting job is around 55,000 euros per year, which is a very good starting salary. So that's the statistics from the last class. some of our top employers, just to give you a few names. Not everyone will be interested in joining big companies, so I won't go over the whole list, but a lot of course, consulting companies, as I just mentioned, financial institutions, and we see more and more in the IT sector, so companies like Google and Amazon are recruiting more and more of our students. So the flexible study stream, so like I mentioned earlier, you get a chance to study in different locations. So I know if you're here today, most likely you're very interested in studying in France. And actually, the majority of students will spend some time in Paris for sure. The campus rotation policies that you can study maximum of 2 semesters in the same campus, and you need to study in a minimum of 2 different campuses, and maximum will be 4 different campuses. So you can spend 1 year in Paris, and then you can spend 1 year in another campus, or you can combine 2 campuses in the first year, 2 campuses in the second year. You can return to a campus where you've been before. They don't have to be consecutive. So there is a lot of flexibility in that aspect. What will impact your choice will be the languages that you speak. If you speak other languages than English, then you may want to study in one of our other campuses than Paris. But you can study, of course, the whole program in English. So that's still a possibility. And then what will impact also the choice of campuses will be the degrees that you want to obtain, which I mentioned a bit earlier. Then you have the composition of the curriculum. I won't detail all the different courses, but you basically cover all the foundations of management. So accounting, corporate law, finance, economics, quantitative methods. If you don't have a previous degree in business, you will take the prerequisite courses before the classes start in September. So usually you have some online modules that start in July, and then the on-campus part will be starting around mid-August. And of course, depending on the situation next year, all the prerequisites can be taken online as well. And then everyone starts the program mid-September with the core courses in the first year. And during the second year, sorry, did I go too fast? No, so there's one slide that's missing. Oh no, sorry, it's the following. Then you have, of course, during the first semester, seminars. So you get a 2-day seminar at the European Parliament in Brussels. And you have also negotiation role plays and simulation. So some of you, I know, have done before mock United Nation negotiations. So it is the same principle, but you do it on location at the parliament with the whole class, so you get to meet the whole cohort. And then the second year, you will get to choose the specializations, and you have a portfolio of more than 50. So again, I won't cover all the different specializations, but some of them are sectorial. So if you want to work in a luxury industry, if you want to work in a hospitality industry, some will be more about the function. So if you want to become a consultant, you have a business consulting specialization, you have business development, you have finance, of course, many different topics are possible. And you can, I would advise actually to pick specializations and also matching internships. So you can try out different things. I know some students think this is really what I want to do in the future. And then when they have an internship of 6 months, they feel maybe this is not the right choice for me. So you really get a chance to try out different things in the program and make sure that the choice you make is the right one for you. So try to explore as much as possible and learn as much as possible. Professional experience, so it's quite a crucial part of the program. We require you to complete 36 weeks of experience to get your degree. You can complete that experience between the first and second year, partly because you have a break between June and September. And then you can complete the remaining weeks after the M2 year and before the graduation jury, which is in November. So you have time if you want to have a compact program within 2 years, you can make it. But if you want to have better opportunities, I would say that companies usually like to have you for at least 6 months. So if you want to complete 6 month internships, you can take a gap year and you have the possibility of completing two 6 month internships in that time span. So that's also a great way of, like I was saying, trying out different experiences, different sectors, different functions, and confirm your choice or maybe change your choice for the future. Um, the school is helping you, of course, but you have to apply for the internships yourself. But we do organize job fairs, so you have companies coming on campus to meet our students. You have career services, which is available as soon as you join the school. So you can work on your CV, on interviews. You have a dedicated website with companies posting job ads directly on there to recruit our students. So you get a lot of opportunities really to find the right internship for you. And we receive, as you can see, 12,000 internship offers yearly. So I think you get plenty to choose from. And of course, you can study anywhere in the world. So a lot of students actually might study in Paris the first year, and then they do an internship in Singapore, and then they move to Berlin for the last year. So you can really explore also the world and make sure that you don't limit your possibilities. So just shortly on the fees and scholarships. So the up-to-date fee for this year will be 18,250 euros per academic year for EU citizens and 21,850 euros for non-EU citizens per academic year. Of course, if you take a gap year, you won't have to pay 3 times the tuition fees. It's the same rate whether you study in 2 or 3 years. You just have a small registration fee to pay for the gap year. For ESCP scholarships, you have merit-based scholarships that range from 25% to 100% of the first year's tuition fee, and that's based on your ranking in the admission round. So it's really whether you apply with Join a School in France or if you want to apply directly at ESCP, you will be assessed at the same time in the same round. So we will be reviewing all the different applications, and based on your grades, basically you will be getting a chance to get one of the merit scholarship. Then you have need-based scholarships, which are delivered by the foundation, and they can cover from 10 to 80% of the first year's tuition fee. But that's for EU citizens only. And then, of course, you have many different scholarships available from the government of your home country. So you have to check. I think the best resource for information is Campus France. We really encourage you to go to the nearest office to your home and ask for what the scholarships are availability is in your country. I know that in every country you may benefit from the Eiffel Scholarship. So it's a scholarship that's for foreign students coming to France. And the Eiffel Scholarship is only available to students who apply in the first round. So you may be one of the lucky few that will benefit from it. Then the Eiffel Scholarship unfortunately won't be offered for the later rounds. So just so you know, you're in the right round. And then, of course, depending on your home country, again, you have country-specific scholarships. So for Indian students, for example, you get a Charpak scholarship, which is they're not covering the tuition fee, they're covering your living expenses when you're in France. And then I know there are many, many different other scholarships available. So we really encourage you to explore Campus France as a first step. And of course, don't hesitate, to come back to us because we have specific agreements with banks if you want to take a student loan, and we have possibilities to help you. And then the slide on, yes, on the admission. So I will let probably I got later on explain with much more details the Join a School in France application process. But basically, as an international student, you can choose either you apply directly to ESCP or you apply to Join a School in France, which will be a great way for you to simplify the process if you're interested in applying in different schools in France. Since we have a consortium of 5 schools, it will help you with one application, one interview. You're saving, I think, a lot of time and effort in your project of joining a school, a business school in France. The expectations are the same regardless. We require you to fill out an online application. We need a GMAT, GRE, CAT or TAGE-MAGE, that's for the French speakers, which is mandatory. Then you need to submit an English language test if you're not a native English speaker, obviously. We need your transcripts. We need to see your diploma or a certificate of enrollment if you're in your last year of your bachelor, 2 academic references, and a CV. And then, of course, this is the first step. So you have a first screening, which is based on your application package. And if you're shortlisted for the second step, then you will be invited for an interview. If you apply directly at ECP, then the interview will be in one of our campuses or online. And if you apply with Join a School in France, it will be at Campus France office or Alliance Française office. But there will be a center near you where you will be able to have a face-to-face interview. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. And we work with the same admission calendar. So you have 4 rounds spread between the fall and then summer of next year. 4 different rounds. I see that there is a question in the in the chat. Maybe I can answer it. If there is a difference between the different rounds, there is no preference for us. My advice is always to apply when you feel like your application and your test results are a good reflection of your academic achievements and your potential. So we don't encourage you to apply in the first round and rush through it if you feel like you're not ready. Our advice is to really prepare well the application package, because this is the first impression that you're leaving to the different schools. So my advice is always to focus on getting the best test results possible and having an application that's really optimal and the best representation of yourself. Especially, we can't predict from one year to another what the sessions will be. So if you're talking about which session is the most competitive and should I apply with the first one or the last one, it's not an exact science, and I would tend to say, I don't know if I get agrees, it changes every year. So sometimes you have a big first session, it's the biggest of the year, and sometimes it's a very small session. It really depends, I think, on many different aspects. So don't really count on that, or what happened the previous year and what your friends told you happened when they applied in the previous year. Focus on getting the best application possible. That's my main advice to you. Um, and I think, yeah, so short recap. If I have time, I get to tell me if I've been too long.
Just one thing, Nathalie, you have a question
Yeah.
from Abhishek. This is the last one. He says, for apprenticeship track, I found out that a minimum of 1 year is to be spent in France to be eligible. How would it be possible with ESCP with compulsory 2 campus criteria?
Yes, that's a good question. Unfortunately, as of today, for non-EU students, the apprenticeship is not really an option because you need to have residence permit when you apply to the apprenticeship track. And for that, you would need to have spent 1 year in France prior to joining ESCP or one of the schools of the consortium. So for us, as of today, it's not a possibility, unfortunately, for non-EU students.
Okay. And just another one question. Are students allowed to take a gap year between their first and second year of study?
Yes, that's usually when the gap happens. It's between the first and the second year. You can also take only a gap semester, so between M1 and M2. So it means that you're starting the second semester of M2 with a delay of 1 semester. But usually it's between year 1 and year 2. I know students have the possibility of taking 2 gap years. So that can be between year 1 and year 2, or that can be after M2. You can take a gap year so you can stay on in France, for example, if you want, or in another European country. And then you can get work experience and you still have a student visa, but it means that you're delaying your graduation by 1 year. So at ESCP, you have actually between 2 and 4 years to complete and get your degree. But 4 years is the maximum.
And can you study at the Paris campus for 2 years, no year abroad, if you choose the apprenticeship track?
No, as well, it depends where you're from, but if you were EU students and you get access to apprenticeship as a student who enters directly into M1 year, you can only choose the 18-month option or the 14-month option. The 2-year option will be only for students who did a pre-master year. So it means it's the students who completed a preparatory class and entered in pre-master year. So those students can take the 2-year apprenticeship M1 and 2. But if you're, as we say, admis parallèle or directly admitted into M1 student, in that case, it's only 18 months or 14 months. So you can't spend the 2 years in Paris. You will have a mandatory semester in another campus than Paris, and you have a short, I would say, term, because it's not even a trimester, short term in a Madrid campus. So you will get the campus rotation also, just in the shorter version.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I can see that I have a lot of questions regarding the process. So I will, but you can finish your presentation, Nathalie.
Yes, just in a nutshell, just a short recap of what we just said. So basically, the program benefits, you get exposure to many different cultures, so that really improves your career prospects, because I think nowadays most careers get an international dimension to them. So it's really preparing you for the business world and preparing you to have the flexibility to work in an international environment. Of course, the program will help you build your career plans, and then get the best up-to-date specialized courses in the sector that you're interested in. And then, of course, the combination of that and the internship, the in-company experience will prepare you again to get hopefully employment very, very quickly. And of course, there is the dimension of studying in a very international group in an international environment. So that's again preparing you for the future. And of course, you get a network of friends for life. So I think when you consider the schools, don't think about the next 2 years. Think about the rest of your career. It's an investment in the long term. It's an investment on yourself, and it's a community that you join that will be your community and your network of colleagues and peers for the rest of your careers, hopefully a very long one. So really try to find the school and the program that's really the best fit for you. And it's a great experience. So my only advice is really go for it. And I strongly encourage you to apply.
Thank you very much, Nathalie, for this presentation. It was really complete, and I hope it will help our students to go to ESCP and through Join a School in France.
Yes,
so
very
now,
important.
yes. So now I will continue the presentation regarding the selection process. So now, so it's okay for you? You can still hear me, everyone? Just saying it's okay for you. Okay, perfect. So you have a lot of questions regarding the selection process, and it's totally normal. So the recruitment process is really simple. You just have to go on joinasschoolinfrance.com and you will start your online application where you will upload important documents regarding your application. For example, your identity documents, such as your passport, your identity card. Also, you will have to upload your diploma, because we absolutely need to know if you have a bachelor degree or a license degree, because the prerequisite to join a school in France is to have 3 years or 4 years of study. Okay, so you absolutely need to have a bachelor or a license. If you have a master, it's okay, but you can't have less than a bachelor or a license. Of course, we need to see and we need to have the proof that you really studied in a recognized school. So it means that your school must be recognized in the state, and your diploma must be recognized by the state. So we absolutely need to see all your academic transcripts regarding your bachelor or your license or your master. Then regarding the English test, if you are American English, or if it is your mother tongue, or if you studied all your courses in the English language, you do not need to upload an English test, of course, but you will need to prove that you studied in English, or that your mother tongue is in English. So, for example, you will have to upload your American passport, or you will need to upload your academic transcript saying that the medium of instruction is English. For the other students, you will need to do an English test. It means a TOEFL, TOEIC, Cambridge, or IELTS. And you will have to upload the official test taker copy. So the official scores. If you do not have the official score, we suggest you to upload the unofficial scores. because we can have the proof because we have a professional account with the organisms. So we will find if it's okay for you or not. Then we need 2 recommendation letters. Regarding the recommendation letters, I can show you an example. The perfect recommendation letters is with a stamp, with the name of the professor, the positions of the professor, the university, of course, your name and first name within the letter. And this is the perfect letter of recommendation. But now, regarding the crisis, the COVID crisis, we understand that sometimes it is not possible for you to have all this information within the recommendation letter. So you just have to upload a recommendation letter with all the contact of the professor. For example, the email address, the name, first name, and the position of the professor in the university. And of course, a beautiful text regarding all your competencies and skills. Tell me if it's okay, if it's clear for you. I can come back on the subject. And you will have to upload the payment proof. So the payment proof is the tuition fee, the Join a School in France tuition fee. It's around 200 euros, and you will need to submit the bill of the payment. So here are some examples of the written tests. So we are asking for GMAT, GRE, TAJMAJ, and the CAT is not the best test that we ask for. So if you have the opportunity to do the GMAT, the TAJMAJ, or the GRE, it's better. Okay, the CAT is really an exception. Then regarding the English test, this is this kind of documents: the TOEFL, the TOEIC, the IELTS, and the Cambridge. Is it okay for you? But do not worry, because I will send you the replay of this webinar tomorrow, and you will be able to watch the replay on the YouTube channel. Then regarding the documents, so a resume, of course, 2 recommendation letters, 1 English test or not, the proof that you speak English, all the academic transcripts regarding your bachelor, license, etc. If you don't have your diploma, because you will because the end of your courses will be in June 2020, for example, do not worry. You can upload, instead of your diploma, you can upload a school certificate, an enrollment certificate. It will be okay. But we absolutely need to see the school certificate for the year 2020-2021. Then, regarding the interview, just before I saw one of the question that was about the interview process. So the advantage with Join a School in France is that it's a way to simplify the life of the students abroad in order to join a school in France. So thanks to Join a School in France, you just have to complete 1 online application for 5 business schools. Then we will send the application for the 5 business schools, and if you are eligible to take an interview, at least in 1 school, I will organize an interview for you in your city, in your country. So it means that I create partnership with French institutions in your country or in your city. And your interview will take place in French embassies, in the Campus France, in the Lycée Français, in the partner schools maybe, and sometimes at Chamber of Commerce. And it's around 30 minutes, 30 minutes in English. Why it is in English? Because the masters in management will be taught entirely into English. That's why the interview will be in English in order to test you. And with a jury member composed of 2 alumni. 2 or 3 alumni, it depends. Do you know what is an alumni? I don't know if it's clear for you. An alumni is a former student. So I will recruit people from HEC Paris, ESCP Business School, Schema, EM Lyon, Audencia, around the world in order to be your jury member. Okay, so it's a really change between you and a former student during this time of interview. Okay, so I think it can be a real advantage for you to be able to communicate with these people. And what is about the interview? It's not regarding your grades, your marks. No, it's just on your personality, on your motivation, on your ability to go to France, if you love France, why you want to go to France to do your study, why if you know some general culture. It depends the the country you come from, and maybe it will be probably about the questions about the crisis, about the news in your country. I don't know. It's not really precise because it depends on the personality of your jury members and on your personality. It would be a conversation. Then, one thing really important, the session, the recruitment sessions. So there is absolutely no difference between the session. You can apply. You can apply for the first round, second round, third round, fourth round. There is no difference. It is just to have an organization, to let the people take time with their application. And so there is absolutely no difference. Just you have to know that it's really important to take your English test and to take your written test as soon as possible, because it takes time, and you will need to upload your official scores into your application. And without these official scores, I will be not able to send your application to the 5 business schools, because this is an important document in order to know if you are able to integrate the school. So please, if it's not the case, you need to be informed about the GMAT, the GRE, the TAJMAJ, the IELTS, the CAT, the IELTS, the Cambridge, all the tests, and to do it, because it takes time, and the students are often it's really complicated for students sometimes to have it in advance. So do it as soon as possible. Regarding the session 1, as you can see, the deadline is today at midnight Paris time. So here in France, it's almost 6 p.m. And so you have time to complete your application if it's not the case. But why I insist on this fact, it's because for people who absolutely need the EFL scholarship, this is your last chance to have it, because it will be not possible for the second round, because I think that the EFL scholarship, the deadline of the EFL scholarship ends on January 8th, so you will not have time. Is it clear for you regarding the session, regarding the rounds? So I really hope that everything is clear for you. You can apply for session 2, session 3, session 4. There is no difference, but just you have to respect the delay. You have to respect the deadline, and to really be proactive regarding your test, your English test and your written test. So what can I tell you more? If you need some advice, I suggest you to read the rules, the FAQ on our website, that is joinasschoolinfrance.com. You can participate in the webinars. There are almost two times per month. Then you can follow us on social media. Of course, we are really active on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. On Weibo too, because we are really active on Chinese social media. And what is really important, you need to have an international profile. It means that you need to have a bachelor or a license abroad from another country, except France. You need to anticipate your actions, as I said before, regarding your written test and your English test, but also regarding your school certificates, because sometimes, or your diploma, I don't know, because sometimes the schools cannot provide you a document like this, so you have to anticipate. And you need to speak English, because all the Master in Management program in all the 5 business schools are will be taught into English. And I think that's all. If you need more information, you can contact us on WhatsApp. Sophia, that is my colleague, and she is answering you during my presentation. She will answer you on WhatsApp. You can call us, and you can email us. This is our team. We are 5 people, and I think that's all, Doug. So you can add us on the Facebook group, because Sophia published a lot documents and tips for you. So do not hesitate to follow us on social media. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. I will send you the replay tomorrow, and I think you have enough information now to apply and to join a school in France. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.